Good evening, everyone. My name is Sagar Setia. I'm an IAS of 2017 batch, and today I'm going to talk about the importance of NCRT. And the flow would be like that. I'll first talk about the what is the importance of the NCRT, and then probably if time permits, I'm going to take the few questions which are relevant to the topic right now, and few if you think are of utmost important at the initial stage of preparation, please. So first of all, I would like to talk about that why you should read the NCRT. So first thing it would be that comes to my head is that it is the key to the prelims. Most of the questions which are coming in the prelims, they are basically sourced from the NCRT. Hello to everyone. I'm very happy to come here, and I'll be soon answering the questions you are sending here. But first, I like to the take the flow which I have planned for. So first, I've told that it is the key to the prelims. UPSC examination, civil service examination, and the second, it is very important that NCRTs are the books which build the concepts, which build the basic understanding of the concept, which are very important to us. So my view on this is that if you are reading even a current affair notes or current affair news in the Hindu or the Indian Express or any other paper of your preference, so what happens is you may not be able to understand the certain terminologies. For example, if we talk about the repo rate or re-repo rate, whatever. So unless you have the basic, you have not read the basic concept of the what is the repo rate, you may not be able to understand that how it impacts the economy or whatever it is. Similar is the case with the other concepts also. So it's important for the mains perspective also, as if you have looked at the last year's prelim and as well as the mains question paper, few questions in the mains are directly sourced from the NCRTs. For example, in the geography, we have seen the questions such as the cyclones, tropical cyclones, or the front which are formed, etc. So they are directly coming from the NCRT, geography NCRT. And now I'll come to that how you should read the NCRTs and how I have done it, and based on my understanding, I would like to talk about that how you should go about reading it. So first, my suggestion would be that once you should have a very preliminary kind of a reading which gives you a basic idea of the how the subject is, what kind of topics it covers, and what kind of content it has. It has the very basic content, or it has some detailed aspects of the any particular topic. So depending upon that, I would say that first reading is a very preliminary reading, and you should not try to go ahead try to do a very thorough understanding in the first reading itself, that we start cramming everything in the first reading. So my suggestion is that you go ahead and do a very basic a preliminary kind of a reading in the first go, and then in the further readings, and there is no count to it, and should go ahead and do as many as readings as possible, and as the time permits. Of course, we have a time limit also, and apart from the NCRTs, we have to do some other aspects also. So as the time permits, you have to look at the kind of number of revisions you can do for this. And third is that I've already spoken, is the revision. Revision is the key for everything, that we need to read it again and again, so that the idea sinks in us, so that when we go into the exam, so we are easy to recall everything. So many people have a very, very basic question about the notes making. So now I would like to talk about the notes making. So I would say that notes making you may do, but has to happen a very selective level. For example, that few NCRTs, you may find that they are very very small kind of. So you need not to kind of make notes in of these NCRTs. And second is that there are certain subjects which requires the language of the book itself. For example, I've told about the geography. So the kind of scientific language which has in the question of, for example, the tropical cyclone or the temperate cyclone, the exact language has to be kind of near about language has to be written, and so that's why it doesn't require you to make notes. The third point in this is that you should never make it in first reading. That is a personal suggestion based on my understanding, because I think that in the first reading, as I called it, preliminary reading, you miss a lot of a lot of major points. So every time I read a book, I used to find a new aspect or new important point which may come in the prelims or maybe a good question in the mains. So again again on the notes making, I would suggest that there are certain books which requires that you should have notes. For example, the economics, I think, especially in the concept part, in the which is 11th and 12th economics, we should have basic notes which you can always go back and refer, because it's a very elaborated and a tough kind of a language which is written in the NCERT. So you should pay attention and try to make notes out of it in the first or the not in the first, second or third reading. And you can always go back and refer to the NCERT in case of you have any more doubt in that. Now there is a again, sometimes we see online that there are many people who have uploaded the notes of the NCERTs, and then they say that please refer to this, please refer to my notes. Even those who have qualified the exam and now they are in service, they also suggest that I'll upload my notes. And so my sincere suggestion in this is that their notes remain there only, unless and until you put your hard work on it and you try to make notes out of as per your understanding, because the initial notes that are uploaded are based on their understanding, how they understand the subject, not the your understanding. You may have to be you are good in few things, not in the same as he was or she was. Whatever the case may be, you should not refer to the notes of NCERTs made by anyone as it is. So you should do it by your own. Now there is a concept of basic book which I suggest to the aspirants always. So the concept of basic book will be also, I'll give a list of the basic book in the in today or tomorrow. So what is the concept of basic book is, for every subject one shall have one book which you say that is the only book I am going to refer back to if I want to read about anything. For example, if we talk about polity, I think the Lakshmikant is a good book. So you can always go back and refer to that book. For example, similarly for if you say for the history, the Spectrum is a very good book. Similarly, for the concept part of the geography, G.C. Leong is the first part of G.C. Leong is a very good elaborated part. So one should read that. So likewise, one shall have a concept of a basic book that I'm going to read this and I'm going to add on it. When you have a basic book with you, now you are going to read more and more from the current affairs or from any test series or any new knowledge you are going to get out of by reading a new book. So you can always come back and always add to this basic book, so that you can always increase the value of this basic book. Now which to read from where? So there are few subjects which you can read through using the NCERT. One is the polity, other is the history, fine arts, geography, basic of environment sciences, economics. But again, there is a few subjects such as S&T, science and technology, for which you have to only limited content is available in the 11th and 12th standard of the science book. So only few chapters are to be read, and that are too relevant to the biology and the environmental sciences. And most of it is to be read through the current affairs, and one shall have a thorough understanding of what is going in the science and and it is a very a growing area, and you see multiple questions coming in the pre as well as the mains examination in the UPSC CSC. Again I'll post there is a question at times that which old NCERT to be to read and the new NCERT to be read. So in this, my take is that there is a combination of the book. For example, history books. My personal opinion, I find the old NCERT books are much more relevant, and they have much more content. And while on the other hand, the new NCERT, they can always complement the old NCERT. So you need to read the both. But again, the concept of basic book. Okay, I'm going to read this, and over this I'm going to overlay this. So this is again a detailed list will be posted. Which book to be read for which subject, old or new NCERT, whatever the case may be, and which all NCERT is to be read. So 6 to 12 standard, I think, is a good range of books that one shall have a glance through. So there are few books from the 6th standard to the 12th standard, which one shall have a glance through. And some books are there which requires a thorough attention. So with a thorough understanding, we shall try to understand these subjects. So this is the very basic about the what is the importance of the NCERT, and my message is that revision is the of course you shall try to do maximum number of revisions, and after the basic strategy that I've told you, that that you extract a very basic content, you try to then you be in comfortable zone, and then you read that again and again. So that shall be your kind of a basic strategy, that you try to extract from the books a very a basic content, and you shall try to read it again and again, so that when you go into the exam hall, the recalling becomes very important. So when you have read more number of times, and this recalling comes quickly, that has helped me for my prelims and as well as the mains examination. Now if you have any relevant question, I would be happy to answer. So far none questions. Okay, so one is one person, Debarshi Dalai, is asking about the art and culture. Art and culture, so there is a 11th standard basic art and culture book, but again that is a very oriented towards the architecture mainly. So you can always go back and have a basic understanding from the Nitin Singhania, which I find is a good amalgamation of the notes from the various sources. You can also look at the Vajiram and Ravi notes also for this thing. Ranjum is asking that is 9 to 12 NCERT sufficient. So it may be okay that you read these only NCERTs, but again a preliminary understanding of the reading of the 6 to 9 standard will also help, especially in the geography, history, because they are very basic book. And the idea is that, for example, that when we start preparing, so I come from a technical background. I have left my 12th long back. I did my masters also. So 7 year or 10 year, 8 years of a gap in a study. So we have to come back again to the basic. So these books are very important to give you and to put you into a frame where you can, have a very basic idea. Okay, what is UPSC is trying to ask. So in my view, you should have a glance through the 6 to 9 standard, of course, and 9 to 12 standard books will suffice the purpose. Yes, for economics and for geography, Moksheka is asking that is it good? Yes, both of the economics and then economics NCERT and the geography NCERT, both new ones are excellent books and shall be read multiple times. And I've talked about that economics shall be extracted, the notes shall be extracted. Tamil Nadu state NCERT books, you shall not go ahead and try to read the state level books also. I think the basic NCERT suffices for this preparation. There is no specific chapters. For example, in the geography, every chapter is important, and few are less important depending upon the kind of question UPSC is asking. You shall read the chapters. So for 11th and 12th standard, the geography I've told, economics I've told, the history books are also good. The polity books, not the SNT, and few chapters I've told from the biology is important. Art and culture I've already answered. A list of 6 to 12th will be given. How to read, I'm going to share this video. The Abhi can read from there. Not necessary to mix note, and again in the video I've already dealt with it. You can read there from Mehta. History, you can have told that the spectrum for the modern India could be a good book, and old NCERTs for the medieval and for the ancient are good books.